Omni-Man doesn't start as a monster. He starts as a soldier pretending to be a father. For 20 years, he plays the part perfectly. The morning flights, the baseball games, the gentle smiles at his wife across the dinner table. And when the twist happens, everyone thought the tragedy of this story was the betrayal. The internet made memes about it. We reacted to the violence. We focused on the sheer brutality of what he did to the Guardians of the Globe. But we missed the actual horror of Nolan's story. The real tragedy isn't what he did to Earth. It's what happens when you spend 2 decades wearing a mask and then wake up one day to realize you accidentally became the disguise. To understand Nolan, you have to look at what he was before he got here. The Viltrumite Empire doesn't just train soldiers, they breed out empathy. They are taught for thousands of years that weakness is a disease, that compassion is a flaw, and that conquering is the only universal truth. Nolan didn't come to Earth to start a family. He came to infiltrate. He looked at Debbie and Mark the same way a biologist looks at a temporary experiment. But then he has to actually live the life. He has to hold his infant son. He has to sit on the porch. He has to exist in the quiet moments. And the thing about quiet moments is that they don't care about your ideology. Over 20 years, the Viltrumite programming starts to quietly rot away, replaced by genuine, terrifying love. We watch Nolan tear through the Guardians of the Globe in the first episode. Cold, efficient, brutal. That's the Viltrumite. But look at what happens right after. He ends up in a coma. The easy read is that the fight was hard, that they pushed him to his physical limit. But the truth the show is hiding in plain sight is that the cognitive dissonance is what's actually tearing him apart. He didn't just kill his coworkers. He was trying to violently, forcefully snap himself back into the Viltrumite mindset. He was trying to kill the human part of himself. He spends the entire first season trying to convince himself that humanity means nothing.
And what were they doing with those fragile little lives anyway? Listen to what I'm saying. You know in your heart I'm right.
He calls his wife a pet. He tells Mark that everyone they know will die and turn to dust, that their lives are meaningless blips. We hear that and we think it's cruel. It is cruel, but look at his eyes when he says it. He's not saying it to hurt Mark. He's saying it because he is desperately, frantically trying to convince himself. If she's just a pet, if they are just dust, then he doesn't have to grieve the life he's about to destroy. You know what this looks like. Maybe you haven't conquered the planet, but you've built an exit strategy. You start picking fights with a partner you know you need to leave, or you start finding fatal flaws in a job you used to love. You quietly devalue the thing in your head so that when you finally walk away, it doesn't hurt. You tell yourself, I never really cared anyway. You reduce a 5-year relationship to, we were just incompatible. You call it a pet. You build a narrative where you don't care, because caring means you have to feel the grief of tearing it down. But the narrative fails. Nolan has his son pinned to the side of a mountain, his face beaten to an absolute pulp. He raises his fist for the final blow, the blow that proves he is a Viltrumite, the blow that proves the last 20 years were just a mission, and he can't do it. A memory flashes. Mark as a kid swinging a baseball bat. The Viltrumite Empire trained him for thousands of years to conquer, but 20 years of playing catch in the backyard unraveled it all. He thought he was infiltrating Earth, but Earth infiltrated him. He drops his hands and he flies away in tears, leaving the planet, leaving his empire, leaving everything. Because realizing you actually love the thing you are supposed to be immune to is the most terrifying thing in the world. He didn't break because he was weak. He broke because he finally realized the mask was his real face. Nolan shows us that you can't fake love for 20 years without it becoming real. Woody teaches us something harder. How the fear of being replaced can turn you into the villain of your own story. That's the next one. I'll see you there.